When Naruto finally woke up, his body was sore beyond belief. Gamabunta and Jiraiya had pushed him farther than Kakashi ever had. He was a Sannin, so it made sense. As he laid there and his senses returned, he found himself slip into his mindscape. The cage was still closed, the paper seal still intact. He heard the foxes rumble, as if it was sleeping. He let out a sigh of relief. That relief lasted only a second. He felt the world rush around him, making him turn. What used to be a blank wall was another cage, the bars wide open. He turned again, seeing the nine-tailed fox's eyes snap open. "What the hell are you doing here, brother?" "I could ask you the same thing," a high-pitched voice shouted back. Gaara stood a few feet away, eyes closed. Behind him, what Naruto could only assume was the One-Tails. It was barely shorter than the fox. Its body was comprised entirely of sand, with black markings formed in the shape of a tanuki. It had a single, jagged tail that swayed behind it. Its small eyes were yellow, a black, four-pointed star, and 4 dots as its pupils. Naruto could feel its bloodlusting ki soak the merged mindscape of himself and Gaara. "Why'd you intrude on my space?" the Nine-Tails snapped. "It's cramped enough in this boy's head as it is." "It's not my fault you were snoring. I came in here to wake you up." Naruto stared with fear at Gaara. "What's going on?" Gaara shrugged. "I suppose the tailed beasts can speak telepathically. They're merely chakra, so it's not impossible." Naruto tilted his head. "Why are you here?" "I found you and Haku so we could talk." Apparently, the tailed beasts had a different idea. Naruto frowned, looking up at the fox and Tanuki. "Looks like they have more personality than I thought." Gaara had to agree, as they silently listened to the tailed beast's banter. "Just get out," the fox shouted. "The boy just used my chakra. I was supposed to use the time he was asleep to break the seal." The Tanuki huffed. "Then it's a good thing I don't have that problem. This boy is basically my puppet. All I have to do is shout in his ear until he caves in. It's your fault you couldn't beat one Uzumaki. That's why you're stuck in this, kid." "Shut up," the fox shouted, banging his tails against the cage, an explosion of chakra blasting away the One-Tails, Gaara, and Naruto. Naruto bolted upright, Gaara's eyes snapping open a few feet away. Both were gasping for breath, the night air cutting through their flesh. Naruto turned his head, staring at Haku. She leaned against a tree, fast asleep. From what he could tell, he'd been sleeping on her lap, and she eventually dozed off. Naruto couldn't help but smile. He turned back to Gaara as he rose, placing his gore on his back. "Do you still want to talk?" the blonde asked. "I believe enough has been said. You heard the One-Tails. I am his puppet. Even if I wanted to become your friend, the moment I do, it will take control and kill you. And for whatever reason, my desire to kill you has dwindled." Naruto chuckled. "I suppose I'm getting to you after all." Gaara frowned. "Tell me, you believe that love makes you stronger. Can you prove this claim?" Naruto opened his mouth to speak, but stopped. I guess I can't give real evidence. We believe in different things, yet both of us are strong. I suppose it's more a matter of which way is the right way." "There is no right way," Gaara countered. "Shinobi grow strong in many ways. I, however, was born strong. I did not need to work for it. I just want to know if love is capable of making me even stronger." Naruto sighed. "I'm sorry, Gaara, but I just don't know if what I've said is true. It's just what I believe. Only my own actions can prove it." Gaara stared for several seconds. "Defeat me." Naruto raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" Defeat me in the tuning exams using your own power. That will prove to me that love grants strength. I will take you up on your offer of friendship, only if you win. Naruto's face turned grim. Gaara's fight with Rock Lee revealed how powerful he was, but he knew that was only the surface. Even if the One-Tails was only a ninth as powerful as the Nine-Tails, Gaara still had a ridiculous reserve of energy. Of course, if Gaara used it, the One-Tails would emerge and run rampant. At this point, Naruto was unsure if even the sliver of chakra the fox had given him during training would be enough to defeat him. The blonde shook his head. He refused to use the fox's power anyways. Besides, Gaara wanted him to fight with his own power. If he relied on the fox, his claim that love made him stronger would be undermined. Naruto raised his head, nodding to Gaara. I accept your challenge, but first you have to beat Sasuke. He's strong in his own right, and he isn't going to give up easily. Gaara blinked. I doubt that will be much of a problem. He is weaker than my last opponent. I heard he woke up a few days ago and received the news. I injured him severely. Medical ninjutsu won't help him. And yet the boy insists on trying to train. Naruto gave a thin smile. That sounds like Lee. Regardless, don't take Sasuke lightly. Gaara nodded. I shall see you in the finals, he declared, walking into the darkness of the forest. Chidori! Kakashi watched with pride as Sasuke destroyed another boulder. The Uchiha was making great progress with the Jonin's original jutsu. Kakashi could only use Lightning Blade a handful of times when he was younger. Now he could use it around 24 times a day. Sasuke wasn't far from that level, already able to use it 4 times. But he could tell Sasuke was enraged. After learning Naruto was part of a powerful clan a few days ago, he'd been pushing himself to the brink of death. His body and chakra were only capable of using the Chidori twice per day, but he was often forcing a third and sometimes a fourth out of him. Orochimaru's curse mark fed him energy and kept him alive, but it was going to start eating away at his mind if he kept it up. No matter what Kakashi said, Sasuke refused to acknowledge the risk, and there was no way to stop the Uchiha from calling upon the mark. Not even Jiraiya was able to remove it, at least not without intense research. But right now, he was focused on Naruto's training, which only angered Sasuke more. But at least he was using his anger to further his training. He'd heard both his other students were progressing well too. Naruto's training remained a secret, but the Jonin could tell he was improving. Sakura's genjutsu training with Kurenai had also been going well. If she continued on the path of an illusionist, Kurenai had no doubt that she'd become a master. However, the Haruna was keen on learning medical ninjutsu after witnessing how hard Sasuke was pushing and injuring his body. Whenever she wasn't with Kurenai, she had her nose buried in medical books and scrolls. Chidori! Kakashi sighed as the curse mark crawled over Sasuke's body. That was his third Chidori after hours of taijutsu practice. He didn't like seeing Sasuke like this. He never liked seeing people consumed with bitterness. It reminded him too much of his own past. All he could do was direct Sasuke's emotions, as he'd done. Kakashi-sensei, why won't you teach me the lightning blade? Why give me an inferior version? The Uchiha growled. If you used a lightning blade, it would tear you apart from the inside. Chidori is safer, and you need safety with how reckless you are with it. Sasuke cursed under his breath, weaving hand signs to conjure another Chidori, but Kakashi stopped him. That's enough for today. You still have a week and a half until the finals. Until then, I want to focus on your speed. If you want to defeat Gaara, you'll need more than lightning. You need speed equal or greater than Rock Lee's. Sasuke frowned. That'll be easy. What makes you think that? My Sharingan. All you need to do is run around me. Eventually, my eyes will catch up and copy your speed. Kakashi pondered for a moment. I suppose that would work. I've never had the need to copy someone's speed. But the Sharingan can do far more than copy ninjutsu and taijutsu. Alright then, I'll let your chakra refill then do it. Fine, Sasuke grunted. Kakashi turned towards the nearby forest, eyes widening as he felt the burst of chakra even from such a large distance. Sasuke followed his gaze. A pillar of ice had appeared above the trees. A second later, a sphere of pink-red energy engulfed the pillar. Both could feel a small wave of heat as the sphere dispersed. The ice vaporized. The steam floated into the air in a wide funnel. Kakashi could feel Sasuke's rage boiling out in the form of ki. He stormed off in the direction of the steam. Kakashi frowned beneath his mask, deciding to follow. I guess Sasuke's about to learn about Naruto's elemental affinities. Then again, he might be too blind by the blonde's heritage to notice. Scorch style! Pink arrows! Naruto released a volley of tiny pink orbs towards a wall of ice. The orbs traveled cleanly, a perfect hole forming through the ice. He was sweating profusely as he'd been training with both fire and scorch style all day. What the hell are you doing here? Sasuke seized, grabbing Naruto by the collar. Haku was about to step in, but Jiraiya stopped her, noticing Kakashi's knowing stare. None of them should intervene. I'm training, Naruto panted. Don't get smart with me. I know who you really are now. Why didn't you tell me? What? That I'm part of a clan? I didn't know until 2 weeks ago after meeting Karin. Why weren't you angry like this when I first told you, Haku and Sakura? Sasuke didn't answer. At the time, he was too infatuated with the curse mark to think about Naruto, but after seeing him summon Gamabunta, something in him snapped. He let go of Naruto, immediately throwing a punch. Naruto stumbled back, feeling Haku behind him narrow her eyes. Sasuke's Sharingan activated. Show me that pink fire again. Now. Naruto wiped a streak of blood from his lips. Your eyes won't be able to copy it. Why, is it some Uzumaki Keke Genkai? Sasuke seized. Not exactly. Just how many secrets have you kept from Team 7? Too many. But at this point, you're the only one who doesn't know them yet. Sasuke's eyes glowed. He sprang forward, Naruto barely dodging. Sasuke twisted into a kick. The blonde raised his hand, using Gale Pump to push the Uchiha away. He then released a fireball, which was quickly cancelled out by another. Sasuke barreled into Naruto, the blonde pushing him off. He used Soul Speed to fly into the air, activating Air Current Dance. Blades of wind shot towards the Uchiha, but Sasuke copied the blonde's moves, mimicking his Air Current dance perfectly. You were supposed to be different! You were supposed to be my pawn to make me stronger! Naruto backflipped away, creating distance. You can become strong even if I'm part of a clan. Or does my existence define yours, he retorted. That's not the point, Sasuke shouted, jumping to deliver an axe kick. You're the one I have to always stay above. If you, a clanless nobody, can somehow keep up with me, it proved I had to grow stronger. Naruto's punch met Sasuke's face, empowered by fire. The Uchiha was sent into a tree. He stood, Naruto's fist inches from his chest. He redirected it, landing a flurry of punches before kicking him into the air. He bounced off the tree, bringing his foot down on Naruto's ribs. The shadow clone turned to smoke, the real Naruto standing in the trees. Sasuke, you've always been stronger than me. I've known that since the academy. I might progress faster in short periods, but you go stronger every day. I see you as my friend, even if you don't. I want you to be strong. I want you to defeat the person who murdered your clan. And I'll do what I can to help you reach that goal. That's the reason I get stronger, because there are people I care about that need my help. You're not alone, Sasuke. I don't need your pity, Sasuke shouted, rage consuming him as he weaved hand signs. Lightning style. Twin Lightning Dragon Jutsu. The dragons flew towards Naruto as he dug his feet into the earth. He reached out his hands, the lightning colliding and flowing through his body. He felt his body vibrate with energy as he raised both hands to the sky. A streak of blue lightning tore through the clouds above, Sasuke staring in anger. You can redirect ninjutsu as well? Sasuke paused when he looked back to Naruto. His hands were smoking, the fingertips covered in black burns. Naruto grimaced in pain. Lightning chakra was the worst to redirect, as it messed with both his hands and his body's nervous system. The harder he tried to master redirection, the worse the effects seemed to get. That's why Jiraiya stopped training him to use it recently. Naruto stared Sasuke down, no emotion in his gaze. His Sharingan pulsed, his fists tightening. The rage seemed to fade, but only for a second. His curse mark activated, and that's when Kakashi stepped in, placing a firm grip on his shoulder. That's enough. The two of you are teammates. Sasuke sneered. Let me guess, you know all his secrets too, and I'm the only one in Team 7 out of the loop? Well, forget it. I don't care how many secrets he has. I'm not going to lose to him. Sasuke pushed Kakashi's hand away, looking back to Naruto. We'll settle this in the finals. Naruto frowned. Gaara has already said that, but if you're that adamant, we can finish it now. Sasuke scoffed. I won't lose to that sand ninja, no matter how strong he is. Sasuke stormed off, Kakashi reluctantly following. Once they'd vanished from view, Naruto collapsed. Haku was at his side instantly, staring with worry at Naruto's hands. The blonde chuckled. I'll be fine. He's definitely stronger than when I last saw him. Do you think you could defeat him? Jiraiya asked, checking over the boy's injury. Only if I was aiming to kill, and I used Scorch Style or the Fox's chakra. Jiraiya chuckled. You underestimate yourself. Naruto winced as Haku wrapped his fingers in bandages. And you underestimate Sasuke's resolve. Nothing will stop him from his goals. Nothing. Not even death. There's a reason he's willing to use the curse mark. Jiraiya eyed Naruto. He believed what he'd said, which made the sage believe it too. Sasuke wasn't the only one willing to risk their life in order to achieve something. The desire for revenge would certainly drive someone that far, and Uchiha more than anyone. No point worrying about it. He does have to beat Gaara, which is its own hurdle, Jiraiya stated. But now, I think it's time we get back to work. You've still got much to learn before the finals. Seriously? Naruto muttered. I don't intend to use Scorch Style against Neji or anyone else, and I would still prefer to keep my elemental affinities a secret. Perhaps, but there are plenty of opponents that won't hold back against you. In addition, Orochimaru is still out there, and you'll be worried to hear that the Hidden Sand is getting restless. Having their Jinchuriki in the Leaf tuning exams is likely the reason. Naruto rose to his feet. Well, you'll be here for the exams with the old man. If anything does happen, we'll be fine. Jiraiya shook his head. I won't be there, actually. Lord Third has given me an assignment to handle. Something about finding some dangerous organization. I won't be back unless I get called. Naruto frowned. I guess you're right then. I need to be as strong as possible, just in case. What do you expect to happen? Haku inquired. Considering both he and his heel are unstable, it's possible Gaara might be overpowered by the Wind Hills. If that happens, we won't have any seal masters to contain the Tanuki. It'll be up to brute force to push it back into Gaara. But there's no telling if Naruto, even with the Fox's chakra, will be able to do it. Haku watched as Naruto formed another Scorch-style sphere. He wants to be Gaara's friend, meaning he will do whatever it takes to make sure that doesn't happen. And if it does, he will save Gaara. He's truly amazing. You're just now realizing that? Jiraiya laughed. He's a 1 in a billion, even excluding his physical talent. He's no genius, but he's something far more. What's that? Jiraiya shrugged. No words come to mind. I'll have to think of one, he grinned. Let's go, Haku, I want you to get strong too. You want to help Naruto instead of him help you at this point, don't you? Haku couldn't speak, only nod. Demonic illusion. Tree bind death. Kurenai felt the tree form behind her, vines dragging her into the trunk until she was merged with it. However, the genjutsu was weak, meaning she was able to break out of it with brute strength alone. No chakra needed. The illusion broke down around her, revealing a panting Sakura. That was a good first attempt at a B-rank genjutsu, Sakura. I'm certain you'll be able to master it before the finals. Sakura gave a thin smile. I just hope this will work on Shino. If you play your cards right, it will. But, just because I teach you genjutsu, doesn't mean I will be rooting for you. Shino is my actual student. Sakura chuckled. I guess he won't hold back, so neither will I. Kurenai nodded. Either way, I'm proud of your progress. So, tell me, how has the rest of Team 7 fared in their training? Sakura shrugged, sitting down. Sasuke and Kakashi Sensei are always gone, and I don't really talk with Haku and Naruto. I see. I hear they're being trained by Lord Jiraiya. Of course the Sannin would take interest in him. Sakura felt a bead of sweat drip down her face. Why do you say that? Kurenai shook her head. You don't need to pretend around me, Sakura. I know what Naruto is, as do you. Sakura tensed, eyes growing wide. You know about the Nine Tails? All the Jonin do. Sakura felt nervousness and fear consume her. What did you think when you first found out? Kurenai sighed. I didn't become a Jonin until 4 years after the incident, so he was still a kid. Back then he was trying to fit in, but all the kids were told to avoid him. I could see he was suffering, and I was fine with it. Whether he is the fox, or carries the fox, he's dangerous. If that power is allowed to surface, the Hidden Leaf will face yet another tragedy. One we aren't ready for. You hate Naruto? I hate the fox. From what I've seen, Naruto has the potential to be the fox, or accept the fox. Everything about him is odd. His behavior, skills, decision-making. He managed to persuade a dangerous S-rank to part with his student, and now that student seems to be catching feelings for him. Haku? Have feelings for Naruto? Sakura asked in shock. It's easy to tell. The way she looks at him, acts around him. Hell, even Naruto likes her to some degree. The only problem is Naruto doesn't realize it, and Haku doesn't understand it. Either way, Naruto now has a connection to Zabuza. That man is dangerous. On top of that, another Uzumaki has shown up, and the boy seems interested in Gaara. Is that bad? Sakura asked. Gaara is just like Naruto, a Jinchuriki, of the Nine Tails specifically. However, Gaara is worse. His tailed beast is just waiting to get out, a ticking time bomb. Apparently, Naruto wants to help him. What that entails, there's no way to tell. Sakura wrapped her arms around herself with worry. Do you really think Naruto's a bad person? Yes, until he proves me wrong, Kurenai answered without a second thought. And what about you, Sakura? Now that you know what he is, do you still trust him as a teammate? Sakura was silent. Memories of her time with Naruto, Sasuke and Haku, flashing through her mind. He's put himself in danger to protect his team. He wants to help Haku, to give her a better life. And when he first told us about Karin, he had this look in his eyes I can't explain. And now he wants to help Gaara, someone who's gone through the same pain. He's far too kind for his own good. Even though I've treated so terribly in the past, he still treats me like a comrade. I just can't bring myself to hate him. Kurenai frowned. Regardless, you should be ready for the worst case scenario. Best to keep him at a distance. Sakura could only nod. She could understand Kurenai's opinion. Naruto did have the potential to be dangerous, especially with his affinity for all the elements. She shook her head, knowing Naruto wouldn't become a monster of his own accord. He wasn't like that. It was why he hadn't snapped in the past. If you think Naruto is good, then you'll want to learn this, Kurenai stated, rising to her feet. It's a basic sealing ninjutsu. All the Jonin were required to learn it after the fox was unleashed. The seal used on Naruto was the 8 trigram seal, while this is a 5-pronged seal. If what your team says is accurate, Orochimaru tried using it on him in the Forest of Death. but it didn't work because the fox was still dormant. Kurenai showed Sakura her hand, flames of purple chakra appearing at the fingertips. Placing an odd number seal over an even number seal disrupts chakra flow throughout the entire body. It's the perfect defense against a Jinchuriki, provided they aren't using too much of the tailed beast chakra. I'd say it will take you until the final exam to master this, but it will be worthwhile. Sakura nodded. I'll get back to work then. I don't plan on losing to him, Haku, or even Sasuke. Hokage Tower, 1.5 weeks later. Hiruzen leaned into his chair, the stack of paperwork like an immovable mountain. The Chunin exams were always the worst time for paperwork. He was already falling apart as it is. He really did need to retire and choose a second successor. Unfortunately, there weren't many options. He glanced at the mission report he'd received from Jiraiya yesterday. As expected, the sage found one of Orochimaru's hideouts within the borders the hidden Sound Village had established, just outside the Land of Fire. However, the former Sannin was nowhere to be found, nor could Jiraiya find any hidden Sound Shinobi. Either Orochimaru had moved to a different base, or he was still at large. Considering Sasuke and Haku had yet to encounter negative effects of the curse mark, he assumed Orochimaru was hiding close by. Jiraiya found out the marks held a piece of Orochimaru's chakra, which would allow the serpent to control his victims. In theory, at least. The final exams were to happen day after tomorrow. After years of experience, Hiruzen had gained a true sixth sense for danger, and he felt that the finals were going to be the cause for such danger. Two Jinchuriki, the Kazekage, Orochimaru. Too many variables to deal with without causing a panic. All he could do was hope that Jiraiya returned, and that the rest of his shinobi would be able to handle whatever was thrown at them. Hiruzen let out a fiery breath from his pipe. There are going to be casualties. He closed his eyes in pain. There always are. If you like what you just heard, consider hitting the subscribe button and bell icon to get notified about new videos. If there's a part you've missed, then check out the entire playlist on screen. If you like this story, please share it with your fellow anime lovers. Any support helps a lot. That's all for now. This is Ninja Kai, disappearing in a golden flash.